This is Luke Radowski of We Are Change that are here outside of the 2017 Bilderberg meeting. And in this video, we're going to get a little bit weird. We're going to be talking about quantum computing, AI, the Hydra Collider. And to join me with that, we have Jason Bermas. If you remember him, he's a documentary filmmaker, done amazing work with Loose Chains. I had the pleasure of working with him a little bit. We've known each other for over 11 years. Does really incredible, stellar work. But first of all, Jason, I really wanted to talk to you about this CERN thing. This seems like the main issue of concern for a lot of people relating to the topic of Bilderberg this year, because the managing director of the Hydra Collider of CERN is here. Why did Bilderberg this year invite this person and also a physicist? It makes kind of sense when you look into the details.
Yeah, when you look into the details, Luke, and it's really interesting. So we were talking a little bit on Tuesday before the actual list had been released, and we were talking about AI, we were talking about quantum computers, and I had actually brought up CERN to you. And the list leaked the next day, and you're like, wow, we have a main representative of CERN here. Now, how was I able to tell that that was going to be a hot button issue? Well, I've been watching the news lately, and you see who's going to be here, and you see who is at the apex of this pyramid. Okay, you have people like Peter Thiel, Trump's technology advisor, and then you have somebody like Eric Schmidt. Eric Schmidt, of course, the head of Alphabet, the shell corporation for Google, is here, and he's off the hinges of a Chinese AI conference. He was just over there. So when I heard that CERN was going to be here and that Goldman Sachs, and we'll circle back around to them, had a heavier presence than normal. Now we know Goldman Sachs is here every single year, but talk about representation for Goldman Sachs, plenty of them. So what does it all mean, right, Luke? Well, CERN announces, I think 2 or 3 days ago, that they are going to build a new super collider 3 times, let me repeat that, 3 times the size of this current version. Now, for people that are unfamiliar with what they're telling us the super collider is, it's these scientists that are bashing together these subatomic particles at speeds and temperatures never thought possible before. And they're telling us the reason that they're doing it is they want to prove the Big Bang Theory, and they want to reveal the quote-unquote Higgs boson particle, or the God particle. Now, they've announced, I believe, 3 or 4 times they found the God particle, and what happens every time? And find the God particle. I'm very skeptical that a quote-unquote God particle even exists, but then again, I'm not a theoretical physicist. But such an undertaking of CERN on that size would have to be a global consortium. We already know that it is under 3 separate countries, including France and Switzerland. So you're going to need a consensus. You're going to need money behind this. You're going to need media behind this, and we know the heads of media are inside there as well. Okay, so that's the CERN aspect of it. But let's talk about something completely different. Let's talk about that AI and Google. Well, Goldman Sachs and Jeff Bezos are actually the lead investors with another company called DAPL in quantum computers that Google and NASA use in conjunction with one another. They're called D-Wave computers. And the really super interesting thing about these D-Wave computers is that Google and NASA are promoting these things not as theoretical physics, but as reality. So what do these things do, right? Because I don't know what they do. You don't know what they do. Now, first of all, the computer itself, the chip is about that big, maybe that big. And it lies on a 3 to 4 foot superconductor made of all this special material doing all this crazy things, encapsulated in a large black box where 3 engineers, maybe 4, can fit. But where the temperatures get to such a subatomic cold level, it is thousands of times colder than the vacuum of space. That's the only way this even works, right? So again, the way they describe it is that they are accessing a particle smaller than a quark called a qubit. And a qubit can be represented binarily, binary code, what we're still using for all computer language, as a 1 and a 0 at the same time. So it's able to basically stay in 2 states at once. But that's when the quantum computing comes in. What they're saying is that they are actually able to access more qubits and take their energy that overlap, that are actually the same qubit, and they're pulling them from parallel universes.
Wait, what? I mean, this is already concerning enough knowing that Goldman Sachs is a big investor in this and has a lot of stake and control. This Bilderberg aspect is a whole nother one. What? Parallel universes.
Parallel universes. And obviously, I'm very skeptical. I don't watch Rick and Morty. I know a lot of people out there do. But they're promoting the multiverse theory. The Michio Kaku string theory that all possibilities are happening and that these qubits that they're actually pulling in are from these parallel dimensions. And one of the engineers in particular in a 2013 speech. Now, first of all, in 2013, 2014, I'm not sure what year, Google and NASA put out a joint commercial for these D-Wave computers where they promote the multiverse theory. One of the physicists actually sits up there, and then all of a sudden, there's a graphic of all of Helmut's face popping up in 100 different ways. It's almost the same face, but again, representing the multiverse. And this first speech, they're talking about these things on a macro level. So not on a subatomic particle level, aka qubits, but that organic life is also in these parallel dimensions that are supposedly the multiverse and supposedly exactly what's going on here now, but we're going to pull a qubit and nobody's going to know and we're going to harness that for energy. Now, for 1 minute,
And this is publicly admitted?
this, again, they're not talking about it as theory. This is out of the mouths of the babes, and of course, after this video is uploaded, we'll put links in the description so you can decide for yourself. Because again, I'm not a physicist that works on these things, but these guys are, okay? So they're saying that not only are they pulling out this energy, but that these computers are essentially being built for AI. They're AI machines. So why is that important? Well, in these speeches, they talk about how they want to build human-like machines, that type of AI. And unfortunately, their engineers are going to find roadblocks that they're never going to be able to solve. But the AI that they create will then in turn create better AI.
Yeah, didn't they already announce that that's happening right now, that their AI system is working better than the programmers who created the AI system?
The engineers can't keep up with the AI. And again, they said that this was going to happen in 3 to 4 years, and these speeches are 3 to 4 years old.
And didn't you tell me that there's like a number of employees that left? You were just telling me about that as well?
Well, what was the exodus we were talking about? We were talking about a mass exodus, but I don't know if we were talking about it on the quantum computing level. I forget. We were talking about that earlier today. Folks, I apologize.
The link will be in the description below, but a number of AI scientists
At
working.
Google. Yes, at Google, they absolutely did leave. Absolutely. We just saw an exodus in April of top-level scientists working on AI. Obviously saw something they didn't want leave. I thought we were talking about D-Wave in general, because D-Wave is a separate entity than the Google AI program. D-Wave are the ones that build the quantum computers.
I know this sounds complicated. It sounds like sci-fi, but this is actually really happening right now.
And again, another cause for concern, again, is that Eric Schmidt and Peter Thiel are arguably top dogs in there right now. Kissinger's not going to be around that much longer, okay? He's human just like David Rockefeller is. David Rockefeller passed away this year. Several weeks later, who else died? Zbigniew Brzezinski, another person that attended these meetings every once in a while and was part of those backdoor channels. So much like Webster Tarpley talked about in 2012 here and in my film Shade the Motion Picture, the old guard is dying in Bilderberg and the new guard is coming up. And obviously that new guard is going to be much more technologically adept, and especially with guys like Thiel and especially with guys like Schmidt. And then like we discussed, you know, Goldman Sachs has never screwed anybody. They're the best, right? We should totally trust Goldman Sachs. So why not have Goldman Sachs behind the most powerful AI in the world? It's cause for concern,
And it's world changing that they have, you know, the possibility to even have this technology in their grasp. So you mean, you took the words out of my mouth with the changing old god, because at Bilderberg within the last few years we have seen them replace a lot of people with technocrats, with people like Jeff Bezos, with people like Eric Schmidt, with people like Peter Thiel, people from all these subsidiaries, people from Facebook, Google, Amazon, Microsoft. You saw an influx. Yeah, you see an influx of all these kind of technocrats kind of slowly making a more significant splash, because obviously with the advancement of technology, Bilderberg has been changing with their times. These are not dumb people. These are people who are advancing and changing, and what the level of technological improvement that they have is really world changing, to say the least.
Well, that's the whole thing. You know, much like a Kurzweilian graph for the singularity, technology doesn't go on this pace where it says, ooh. No, it hits a certain point and then it shoots up. And the question is, how far has it gone? What's being harnessed? And who's in control of it? And I think that some of those questions are being answered in here today, and especially on a macro level when we talk about CERN, because we're talking beyond these $15 to $20 million quantum computers and qubits. We're now talking about basically
Playing God.
well, a 50 to 60 mile long, we already have a 27, I believe, or 26 mile long collider. Even though it's only about double the size in length, it's triple the size in reality. What are they doing? What are they doing? I don't think that question has been answered. And I really find it hard to believe that they're really just trying to prove the Big Bang Theory. It would make more sense that they're trying to harness an energy source, access possibly one of these other dimensions that they're saying exist. You know, it's no longer theoretical, apparently. And that's what really blew my mind. The level of certainty that these engineers are talking about the fact that these parallel universes are in fact a reality. And again, I want to say that I don't buy into it, but again, I'm not a theoretical physicist building quantum computers for Google and NASA.
Yeah. And you're not the one saying it, they are. I mean, this is not just important questions you have to ask. This is an issue that I haven't heard anyone talk about, especially dealing with the major concern of the global elites who are putting all their money into this and all their influence into this. Just Jason, just to leave it off, well, what is the bigger picture here? What is the biggest concern here? And any last final words on this very big, complex subject that is the advancement of AI and the Hydra Collider and all this technological advancement that humanity is facing?
It's literally the future of humanity, Luke, and where we're going to go from here and how we're going to interact with other machines, intelligent machines. We already see automation coming out at a massive level. If you look at things like Amazon, the sorting room is gone. They're small, little cylindrical orange computers, basically, that ride around and stock everything. What's going to happen when AI is put in charge of that, when they no longer need a supervisor, when they no longer need somebody to process the orders themselves, when it is all digital, when that AI, in fact, surpasses our own intelligence? Will it be deceptive to us? Will it work hand in hand with us? Will there be anybody with absolute control over it? And if that is the case, that there is a human being with absolute control over it, or human beings, who are they? And why do they get to control that? This is a huge question, and we are now seeing the realm of science fiction come into fruition on a level never before.
And will the AI treat us as lower entities and lower beings, especially since it's more intelligent than all of us? And all of that, plus a lot more, is being talked about here at Bilderberg. But don't talk about it because you're a crazy conspiracy theorist. Let me know what you guys thought of Jason Bermas. We're thinking about working closely together. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought of this video and future videos that we could possibly even do together. Thank you again so much for watching and supporting real independent media. If it wasn't for you guys donating, we would not be here. Love you guys. Subscribe. Stay tuned for more honest, real, intellectual discussion on the issues that matter most. Love ya.